What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share the video. Hit the join button and become a member. Wow! Well, members get exclusive content. Hit the bell icon on my channel so that you'll receive a notification every time I drop a video, and you can go and check the video out. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. And this story takes us once again to High Desert State Prison, where I was at for all of 7 years. A level 4, 180. 1 year on the 270, the rest on the 180, except for the time that I was in the hole for that conspiracy charge with 8 other individuals. And there on DR was Mike from San Diego 40s. Dark skinned, swole, big swole dude. Mike was a quiet dude, tended to mind his business. You can find Mike on the pull-up bars by himself, and sometimes you can find him with a couple of his closest comrades. You can find Mike walking around the track on the yard by himself, and sometimes you would see him with a couple of certain individuals from the San Diego car. So for the most part, he minded his own business. He worked out, he read, he stayed strong, and he was a solid individual through and through. I saw no flaws whatsoever in Mike. We all have them, but they were not conspicuous. Next door to Mike, and I believe Mike was in 3 building, and next door to Mike was an OG blood dude from up north, Sacramento. And he was like an ex-smoker, but he was still, from my understanding, an OG from his hood. He still had respect, but some of his homies did look down upon the fact that he was a user. But there in prison, you're not using, and so you can still regain your respect and maintain it despite what you may have been doing on the street. And so right there in prison, he had regained his respect. And he had his respect from his younger homies there on the yard. But he was in the vent with Mike. On one side of the cell, or inside of your cell, you have a vent that's next door to you. And then you have someone on the other side of the cell to you that's not in your vent. He was in the vent with Mike. And Mike used to study his legal work late at night. And he would still get up early in the morning, work out, bird bath, eat breakfast, flip his mattress back, and be ready for the whole day, be on tight security and alert for the whole day, even though he stayed up late at night, studying his case, trying to get back on appeal. Mike had a life sentence. At nighttime, there's no talking on the tier. You'll never hear it on a level 4, 180. Because again, the biggest thing in prison is indeed respect. You are going to be held accountable if you disrespect anyone for any reason. Like I said, the situation with old boy from Oakland on the phone. He could have took what I did as disrespect, approaching him, asking him, telling him to get off the phone, and he's on the phone with his mother. But I could have also took what he did as disrespect. It's my phone time. We only have a certain amount of time, 15 minutes, and you're going into my time. Because again, respect is everything. So it's just going to be how it's construed or misconstrued behind those walls. The dude from Sacramento used to get loud at nighttime. He was not talking on the tier, but he was loud, but he was inside of his own cell. But the vents, well, they are sensitive. And so you can hear everything that's transpiring in the cell that's next to you if they're in your vent. And so Mike says that he could not concentrate. He could not study because the dude is up late night telling war stories, smoker stories, talking to his cellie. So Mike asked him one day, could he quiet down? He understands that he's inside of his own cell. However, he's disturbing him. He's trying to study for his appeal. He's studying his case every day. Can you quiet down over there? Mike said he approached him and asked him face to face one day on the yard. Dude responded by saying that he was inside of his own cell, that he does not talk on a tier, and that no youngster, because Mike was about 26 years old, is going to tell him how to do his prison time. He knows how to do time. He's been doing time for a long time. He's not being disrespectful. Mike said, again, he tried to talk him down and explained to him that he was not getting aggressive or trying to dictate his program, but just that he was interrupting him. But really, apparently, the OG, he wasn't having it. He didn't want to hear anything Mike had to say. Perhaps the fact that he was a Crip played a part. This dude is an OG from his hood, and he's a blood. He didn't want to hear what a young Crip has to say about how he's doing his program. Apparently, that's his position. So Mike said everything was cool, and he just carried on. And then one day, dude started playing his music late night. Not loud enough to disturb the tier, because that's a no-no, but loud enough to disturb Mike when he knew what Mike was over there doing. Studying his case to come home. Trying to obtain his freedom. And this dude is becoming a nuisance. Mike believes that now he's deliberately annoying him, disturbing him, obstructing him from studying his case, which is very important and vital to him. So he's taking umbrage. And at dinner time, we used to walk the child. They had a child hall right there inside of the building on the level 4 180s. It's right there. Every building has their own child hall. And in High Desert, we used to go inside to the child hall before they start bringing the trays to the cell. If you're on lockdown, they bring the trays to the cell. And then at some point, they started doing it totally on D yard. But on C yard, you still walk the child. But at this time on D yard, you walk the child. And when they came out, Mike said that he hollered at the dude once again on the way to dinner. He's right next door to him. They came out. Mike said, "Hey, bro, let me holler at you real quick." And he said he put him to the side, and everybody's passing them by, going to dinner. And Mike said he looked him in the eye and just told him, "Bro, I know that you're doing this deliberately. Now you're trying to annoy me. Now you're irking me. I didn't get at you disrespectful when I asked you to stop. Apparently, you took it as me getting at you disrespectful just because I'm a young dude and I'm a Crip or whatever. But I didn't get at you disrespectful, bro. And now you're disrespecting me because you playing your music late at night and I told you I'm studying for my case. And you're doing this shit deliberately." And once again, the OG made it clear, explicitly, that he was not concerned with Mike's case, Mike's disposition, Mike's position. He didn't care. That he was going to run his program inside of his cell. On the one hand, I guess I can understand that. I can also understand where Mike is coming from, particularly if he feels like the dude is doing this on purpose, trying to disturb him on purpose once he's made it clear that he's over there studying at this particular time at night. When it's quiet in the building, quiet on the yard, that's when he likes to study. So he's studying at 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, up until midnight before he goes to bed. Because he wants to be up by 4 in the morning with his mattress rolled back, ready for the program. That's going to start at about 6, the program. So dude is telling Mike not to approach him anymore, that he's going to run his program how he wants to run it. And now he's feeling disrespected because this young dude keeps coming at him, trying to tell him how to run his program inside of his own cell. So he told Mike, don't get at me no more, bro. Mike said, "What, for real? All right, okay, cool. Say no more." Now Mike said he didn't have his thing on him, so he let it go right then and there. But in that moment, he had already made a commitment to himself to attack this dude later on that night in the day room. After chow, Mike had went back to his cell, and he was inside of his cell ruminating about this thing. He was pondering it all, prepared to throw it all away. Even though he was trying to get back on appeal, he's ready to catch another case. He's in his cell pacing back and forth like a caged animal, waiting on day room. He retrieved his weapon and told his cellie what his plan was. At day room, I'm going to attack. His cellie had witnessed the exchange between him and the older blood. His cellie too felt like the older blood was being disrespectful towards Mike because he was a younger dude. This is what the consensus was. This is what they thought, that he was disrespecting him because he was younger and couldn't tell him anything, even though what he was telling him may have been correct. He doesn't want to be corrected by a younger Crip. His cellie, Mike's cellie, tried to talk him down, explain to him, bro, you have action at your case, you might be going home soon. This dude ain't worth it. He's an old ex-smoker, bro. Don't even worry about him, Now, if it continues, then that's one thing. But, he played his music, he talked a little loud, and Mike said, but that's not it, bro. It's the way he got at me when I tried to holler at him. And that's the thing in prison. People often say, man, y'all done had riots in the chow hall over a piece of bread. Well, no, the argument started over a piece of bread or over someone cutting in line or what have you. But it devolved into something else. It escalated into something else. Originally, it was over the piece of bread, the argument, the dispute. But then someone felt disrespected during the dispute, and that's what ignited it. And so in this situation, it wasn't necessarily the loud talking in the cell or the playing the music. It's that when he approached him about that, he felt disrespected. So Mike had made it clear to his cellie that he could not be talked down. The decision had been made. His cellie said, okay, fine. Knowing that Mike from San Diego 40s had a history of violence. He minded his own business and was trying to come home. But sometimes when you're doing the right thing, even the wrong thing gets in the way. Mike is in the cell ruminating, waiting on day room, and has made his mind up. And they pop the doors, day room, day room. And Mike comes out with his shirt off. Now, he's a big swole dude. So some people, but normally he don't walk around with his shirt off. Looks like perhaps he's just about to come and work out in the day room. Or maybe just all of a sudden he felt like showing off. But that wasn't the case. Mike had taken off his shirt because when he was going to go attack the dude, he did not want his shirt. He did not want the dude to be grabbing his shirt. So he took his shirt off because he didn't want to be bothered. That's what happens sometimes. I've noticed that when you're about to stab someone, sometimes people will take their shirt off so that the dude can't be grabbing you, pull a shirt over your head and all this while you're trying to stab him with the knife. He has nothing to grab onto. He can run, but he can't hide. It's the thought process. So Mike came out with his shirt off, and people thinking he's just about to work out or he's showing off his muscles for a CO woman or something. No, sir. Indeed, in his cell, he had already cultivated sinister machinations. And he came out and he had his weapon tucked in his pocket. And the older dude from Sacramento came out and sat right there on the benches in front of the TV as if nothing had ever happened. as if he had not just had this dispute with Mike earlier in the chow hall, just an hour or so ago at dinner. Mike approached him from the back, but he didn't hit him from the back. He approached him from the back, called his, hey, bro, whatever his name was. And dude turned around. Mike said, man, what? Get up. He gave him a chance to get up. He did. And dude like, man, what? He ain't see the knife yet, though. Mike hadn't pulled it out yet. He's probably thinking he just won't squabbling. Because he had his shirt off. You think, oh, this dude probably just about to try to punch on me because he's a big dude, but I ain't going for it. It's probably what OG is thinking, not knowing that Mike was trained to go. And the OG got up and he started woofing, and Mike pulled out his thing and it started attacking him with the knife. First he punched him in the face, bam, to try to daze him a little bit, get him off his kilter. And it worked. He hit him hard. OG grabbed his face and was dazed, and Mike started hitting him, bro, right in the day room. Hit him 3 or 4 times. And then went through the knife back in his cell. It was all a plan. In his cell, he flushed it. But the police had already come rushing in. They had heard the commotion, and the tower caught a glimpse of what was going on. So they grabbed Mike, and they grabbed the OG from Sacramento. Mike ended up going to the hole for this. He was my neighbor in the hole. He was in the hole for like 6 months or something. They was trying to give him a shoe. I think they may have gave him a shoe for 5 or 6 months as well, a shoe program. Security Housing Unit, Pelican Bay, Corcoran, Tehachapi Shoe. Even though they hadn't found the weapon, they didn't charge him. They didn't send him to court because they didn't have a weapon. The DA didn't pick up the case because they didn't have enough evidence. But the court system is different than the prison system. The prison system can still say, well, we know you did, we saw you do it, what have you, you out of here. They didn't book him that bad. They put him in the hole for a few months, and he was on his way to the shoe for a few months. That was really it. Mike got on him, and he did hit him 3 or 4 times because he said that he had felt disrespected by the OG. I don't know. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments what y'all think. Was the OG wrong for talking in his own cell and playing music in his own cell, even though it was 11 o'clock at night, 11:30 at night, and Mike had let him know that he was disturbing him? Was he right to then play music after they had already had the conversation? Was Mike right for taking out a weapon and stabbing an OG over him talking in his own cell because he felt disturbed while he was sitting in the cell trying to fight his case? I don't know. It's a tough one. As I said, I can understand both sides. I can understand a man saying I do what I want to do in my cell, and I can understand Mike saying, well, once I done told you and you continue to do it, you're deliberately disrespecting me and disrespecting my situation, the fact that I'm trying to fight a serious case here. You're disturbing my peace. And you know that there's no talking late night on a tier or even in your cell if it's going to be disturbing someone. That's the same reason that you can't talk on a tier late at night, so as not to disturb the tier, the building. Well, you shouldn't be talking loud in your cell either if it's going to disturb your neighbor. It's the same as disturbing the tier. Just my thought. I'll be back. In the meantime, stay free, people.